morning, everyone. Welcome to Mindful Monday, our class that is usually at the North Laurel 50 Plus Center every Monday, 9 a.m. But here we are. So we're just gonna rock this Monday in quarantine, sort of. So I hope you had a great weekend. I'm Connie Bowman, if I haven't already said that, and welcome. I encourage you to have lots of props for this practice so we can keep it as gentle and kind to our bones and joints as possible. And I have this blanket. I'm planning on using it a little bit later, but if you have yours and you don't have a block or something to sit up on, I recommend placing it under your hips. I'm going to start seated, and if you would prefer to start laying down, I suggest you roll up your towel or blanket and let it come right under your neck. We're going to focus a little bit on that throat chakra today. So when you're ready, whether you're seated or laying down, just let your eyes close or soften your gaze. Just let those eyes be soft. And if you're seated, sit up nice and tall, have a long spine. If you're laying down, you've already got that going. And just notice what you brought to your mat this morning. And before we even start, just check in with your posture. Notice where your shoulders are landing this morning. See if you can roll them out a little bit and draw them back and down and away from the ears. And then pay particular attention to your chin. If your chin is jutting forward, see if you can gently draw it back so it's parallel-ish with the earth. And then swallow in your throat. Relax that throat. And just notice how it feels to sit up in a nice tall posture this morning. Maybe let a smile curl up on your lips. And then begin to become more acutely aware of those sensory things that are surrounding you in your surroundings, wherever you are. So listen to the sounds. Notice the temperature of the air. And the sensation of being supported by whatever is beneath you. The floor, the earth, your mat. Just noticing all those external things, allowing them to be, accepting that reality, and then begin to draw your awareness inward. You might notice immediately there's some light filtering through the eyelids. And you might begin to notice your breath. So as you're ready, invite in a deeper breath, filling up the belly, filling up the ribs, and drawing that breath all the way up to the tippy tops of the lungs. And just pause there at the top of the inhalation and notice how it feels. Opening the chest, expanding. And then take your time to exhale. Let the exhalation be long and slow and complete. And if this is all we do during our practice, we are doing yoga. So begin to lengthen the breath, maybe even a little bit more. Filling up completely. And then maybe closing your lips just gently and breathing out your nose. Slow and long. And when you exhale, when you feel like you've finished, see if you can exhale any more air. And then begin again. This time, see if you can pay attention to the feeling of the breath entering the nostrils, but then also feel it fill up and draw that air all the way up into the throat. See if you can imagine it's getting all the way up there into that throat center. And it is. Exhale it out slowly and feel the air leaving the body, wherever you feel it in your body. And we'll take 2 more together. Finding that rhythm that works for you this morning. Good. And then as you're ready, just begin to move any way that feels intuitively right for you this morning. So you may roll your shoulders. You may start with some gentle head movements. Or you may incorporate all of them together. And then sit up nice and tall again. And let's just begin to shake it out. Shake your wrists, shake your arms, up and down. Good. And then we'll come back to center. Find that chin parallel with the earth. Sitting up nice and tall, drawing the shoulders back and down again. Take a big breath in and lift your nose up to the sky. We'll start with some gentle neck exercises. And as you're ready, just slowly circle over toward the right shoulder. And then take it down toward the floor. Eyes can stay closed or open. Take it over to the left. And just notice how your neck is feeling this morning. Begin to bring maybe a little bit faster movement. Just drawing a big old circle with your nose. Observing. Maybe there's some little crinkle things going on in the back of the neck. Just notice. And then as your chin comes down to your chest, just pause here for a moment. And stretch the back of the throat. And take a full breath in, breathing into the back of the throat. And as you exhale, bring your hands to the back of your head, make a little nest, and just gently draw the chin down toward the chest, keeping your tall posture. And then draw your elbows in toward one another. And as you inhale, open up, lift your nose toward the sky and draw your elbows out, opening the chest, shining the heart, leaning forward with your pelvis a little bit more, getting a little bit of a back bend here. As you exhale, round forward, chin comes to chest, elbows draw toward one another, and belly draws into the spine. Good. Inhale again. Open up. And exhale, round forward. Slow and easy, just starting. We'll take 2 more. And if the hands don't quite reach up back behind the head, you can take them to your shoulders. Just modify as needed throughout this practice. Make it work for your body. As you inhale, open up, draw those arms out. And then we'll take the chin back down to the chest. Just let your hands rest. And we'll take those circles to the other side. So turning in the opposite direction. So turn your head toward the left, and then take those circles round and round. Slow and easy at first. Just work out the kinks, if you have any. I tend to have a lot of crunchiness in the neck. So go slow, and then if it feels good, speed it up. Good. We'll take a couple more. Breath slow and smooth. And then on this next one, draw that chin back down to the chest. And just pause here, draw the shoulders down and away from the ears. And then gently take your hands back behind you. Take your fingertips or hands behind you and lift your heart, lift your gaze, lean back. Draw your shoulder blades toward one another and breathe. Good. And as you're ready, slowly release. Come back to center. If you're on a block or a blanket, just move it out of the way and bring your feet to touch. Bring your feet together into cobbler's pose, Baddha Konasana, butterfly pose. And we'll just flap our butterfly wings here. Good. You can give yourself a little foot massage, drawing your feet apart and just taking your thumbs and rubbing your feet ever so lovingly. Good. And then sit up tall, maybe hold on to the fronts of your feet. See if you can open up a little bit more with those inner thighs. Good morning, inner thighs. And then as you're ready, we'll just come forward slowly. Notice your lower back, and your shoulders can start to round forward, and your chin can come to your chest. And we'll take a few breaths here, just letting that lower back stretch, decompress. Good. So that throat chakra is our seat of communication. And it rests so neatly right there between the heart and the head. So if we speak from the heart and try to use our head, hopefully we won't miscommunicate. But so often we do. So bringing that awareness to the throat. And then as you're ready, being mindful of your back as you come to sit up, just take your hands to the outsides of the legs and just gently draw them up. And take your hands behind you again, place your palms on the floor with your fingertips facing inward, and draw those shoulders back and down. And we're going to press into our hands, press into our feet, and lift up to a table, reverse table. Opening that throat, but keeping the neck nice and long. Breathing here. And on the exhale, lower down. Good. So notice how there's this big openness in the throat as we do that. Keep your awareness there. Just see what happens when you think about your throat a little bit more. Inhale as you lift up. And exhale as you lower down. Good. Now if you have any issues with your wrists, just be gentle. You might want to circle them out before we take this next one. Good. And when you're ready, we'll take the next one. Draw those arms back behind you. Open up your heart. Lift up on your inhale. Opening that throat. And then exhale. Slowly lower down. Good. And then bring your feet, your heels in close to the body and curl up in a nice big ball. We're just going to give ourselves a big hug. Inhale, lift your gaze, get really long, and exhale, round forward. Good. Take 2 more. Inhale, lifting, drawing the belly in toward the thighs. And exhale, round forward, chin comes to chest. 1 more. Inhale. And exhale. Good. Coming to sit tall, taking your hands back behind you, but not leaning so much into your wrist. Just take your knees and rock them from side to side. Good. Couple more. And then we'll come back to seated again. Draw those knees back, or heels back into you. Give yourself a hug, but cross over the weird way. So whatever way you did just intuitively the first time, do the other. Hug it in. Inhale, lift up. And exhale, chin to chest, stretching the back of the neck, giving yourself a nice big hug. Inhale, lift up, press the belly and the heart space forward. And exhale, chin to chest. Last one, inhale. And exhale. Good. This time we'll let our legs release, shake out, wrists, circle your ankles. Good. And then we'll come to our tabletop. So now is a great time to reach for that blanket, smooth it out, and place it right under where your knees are going to go. And then set those knees gently on the mat. And take your hands, spread your fingers nice and wide, and let the hands come right beneath the shoulders. And let the tops of the feet be on the floor here for now. And we'll take some cat-cows. So when you're ready, I'm going to swat a fly. Inhale, drop your belly, lift your gaze, lift your tailbone. And exhale, round. So be gentle at first. Let your spine get the message that it's okay to move in this forward and back direction. Move with your breath. Bringing the chin to the chest on the exhale and lifting your gaze on the inhale. A couple more. Good. I think this fly has a crush on me. Sorry. Good. And on your next exhalation, draw your belly up toward your spine and really round into that Halloween cat shape. And just enjoy this here. Take a big breath in and then draw yourself forward and start to take some hip circles. Go whatever direction felt right for you. Come on, fly. Good. And go the other way. Switching directions. Warming up the hips. Keeping the breath slow and smooth. Good. And then as you're ready, if your knees are okay, we're going to sit back ever so slightly. Now, if your knees are not okay, we're working our way up to downward facing dog. So I know some people, the pressure on the knees is just too much. But if you're ready and you want to come along with me here, just take your hands by your hips, place your hands on the floor, and just lean back and lift your knees off the mat. And again, draw your shoulders back, lift your chin toward the heavens, open up that throat space. So we're getting a stretch on the fronts of the legs, if you haven't noticed, and the tops of the feet. We're also opening up that throat chakra. So breathe here, one more big full round of breath. And as you exhale, slowly come forward. Place your hands on the floor, a little bit ahead of where tabletop was for you. Spread your fingers nice and wide. Press into all the joints of the fingers. So good for us. And then tuck those toes and really press into the toes. Give it an opposite stretch of your feet. And as you're ready, gently lift your knees up, keeping a bend in your knees, and then press up to downward facing dog, that inverted V shape. And then begin to walk your dog, bending one knee and then the other. Notice how your neck is feeling. Are you using the neck for anything? See if you can let go. The neck doesn't have to be involved. Maybe shake out your head a little bit as you're walking. And then come to stillness. So the gaze is back towards your knees, and you're again pressing into the fingertips, the joints of the fingers, so good for any arthritis. And as you're ready, if you have a blanket, move it out of the way and take a walk to your front of your mat, and we'll meet in a forward fold. So good to have a little bend in the knee here as we're just starting to stretch the lower back. And your hands can come to the floor or your blocks, or maybe you want to take your elbows in either hand and just frame your ears. And once you get there, just notice again, how is that neck responding to this forward fold? Head under heart. Take a big breath in, shake your head, yes. Exhale it out and shake your head, no. Good. And then release your hands. And we're just going to roll up, one vertebra at a time, coming up slowly, pressing into the feet, really rooting into the space between us, the space beneath us. And as you're ready, reach up. Find some length. Send those fingertips up to the sky. And then bring that chin parallel to the earth again. Notice where it is. If you're leading with your chin, tuck it in. And then notice what's going on with your shoulders. Maybe lift them up and then lower them back down. Plug them back in. So gazing forward, lift your toes. Spread them nice and wide. And then press each toe into the earth one at a time, starting with that baby toe. So you get all the little joints in the toes pressing into the earth. And then engage the legs as you do. Take one more big breath in. And then as you're ready, take your arms and just circle them back. We'll inhale, reaching up and looking up, this time lifting, opening up that throat chakra. And then exhale, take your chin back to parallel, circle your arms. Take one more inhale, reach up, look up. And exhale, circle them back and let them land in Tadasana, mountain pose. So palms will face forward. And just pause here. So your feet should be about hip width apart. Your arms are relaxed but energized. And take that chin parallel. So much of our time is spent leading with our chin or leading with our voice, which, you know, stuff can happen when we lead with when we speak too soon without engaging the head and the heart and letting all three of those important energy centers get involved. And we can truly speak from our heart. So close your eyes here in mountain pose and just pause here. Notice what happens when you close your eyes. You start to find that balance between the right and the left side of the body. See if you can find that sweet spot. Big full breath in. And then exhale it out and open your eyes and find something that's right ahead of you that is not moving. Got my eye on an electrical outlet. Find something that is not moving and just rise up on your toes. Stay in your mountain pose. See if you can balance here. And notice what happened to your breath immediately as you start to maybe wobble like me. Don't look at me, look at your electrical outlet. One more breath in, and as you exhale, lower your heels down to the floor. Maybe shake it out, bending one knee and then the other. Shake out your wrists. Come back to Tadasana. Plant your feet on the floor, bring your awareness to your feet, but also have that awareness in the chin, draw the chin back, get it in alignment with the head and the heart. Good. And then blink open your eyes, lean back on your heels and just lift your toes. You start to feel that the shins get engaged. Breathe in here. Breathe out. We'll take one more breath in. And exhale, lower your toes. Again, one toe at a time, working your way outward in, and then come back to your mountain pose. Excellent. Good job. We've checked off the balance box. Come back to the front of your mat if you moved. And we'll come into mountain pose. And we'll inhale. Come up on your toes if you can. Reach your arms up. And then as you exhale, swan dive forward. Come into your forward fold. Inhale, make a half table, Ardha Uttanasana. Draw the shoulders away from the ears and flat back. Finding that length from the crown of the head to the tailbone. Exhale, refold, coming back into your forward fold, head under heart. Throat and neck totally relaxed. Inhale, bend your knees, root to rise, reaching up, and look up. And then come up on your tiptoes again. Find that balance. Good job. Exhale, lower your heels. And inhale, lift your toes. And exhale, lower your toes. We're getting so good at this. Let's take a hold of the right wrist with the left hand and just lean over to the left and look right. Keep that right foot firmly planted as is the left. And breathe here. Nice big breath in. And exhale, coming back up and switch. Right hand reaches for left wrist and lean right and look left. Again, that left foot is firmly planted just as is the right. Breathe in, breathe out. Inhale, lift up, reach up, look up. And exhale, swan dive forward, forward fold. Inhale, come to your halfway lift. And exhale, take your hands to the floor, bend your knees, and step back, coming back into your downward facing dog. Spreading those fingers nice and wide. Take a breath here. And a deep exhalation. Good. And then inhale, look forward, and draw your right leg up where your right hand is, and come into a low lunge here. Rock back and forth. Again, keeping a long line in the neck. See now, throat chakra stuff. I thought I had such a balanced throat chakra. Now I got stuff in my throat. It's a constant. We're always working, right? Take another breath in, and slowly lower that left knee to the ground. Lower the top of the left foot to the ground, and we'll come into our Anjani Asana. And we'll take our shoulders and loop them back, and then lean forward, coming into this nice hip flexor stretch. And you might want to take a gander back towards your extended leg, turning over your right shoulder. And breathe here. Notice how this feels. And as you exhale, come back to center. Take that chin parallel with the earth. See if you can lean forward a little bit more in this posture. And breathe. And then take a gander on the other side. See if you can see that extended leg. Just turning the neck as you are able. And then slowly come back to center. Lean forward a little bit more. And then if you're comfortable here, inhale, reach your arms up. Gaze up. And then take those circles back with your arms. We'll take 2 more. Inhale, reach up, look up, and exhale, circle them back. Again, if your knees are getting sensitive here, you can always tuck your blanket underneath. And if you're okay, we'll be here for a few more breaths. Reach for your hands, clasp them, and lean forward just a little bit more. We'll take 2 more breaths here. Inhale. Squeeze your shoulder blades together. Exhale. 1 more breath in. You got this. We're balancing again. And exhale. Slowly bring your fingertips to the floor and tuck that left toe. Lift the knee off the mat and step that right foot back, coming back into downward facing dog. And it might feel good to walk it out. You might get your hips a little more involved. Again, the neck stays soft. Good job. Come to stillness. And inhale that left foot up to the sky. Look forward. And we'll step forward with that left foot. Coming into this low lunge here, rocking forward and back. Good. And then finding stillness, lower that right knee. I'll be a good example and put my blanket under here. Lower that right knee down to the mat. And come into Anjaneyasana. Release that right foot. And just lean forward. Notice how you feel here. Breathe in. Keep that parallel chin. Notice if you're jutting forward. Keep your head and your heart aligned with your center of communication. Only good things come out of our mouths. Maybe lean a little bit more. Maybe look to your left. See if you can see the toes back there. Gentle turn of the neck. Coming back to center, look right. Good. And draw your gaze back forward. And then if you're comfortable, reach your arms up. Send those fingertips up toward the sky. And then take your clasp, make it a different clasp. Take the opposite thumb on top this time. And lean forward a little bit more and let's breathe together. So we draw our heart forward, lifting our gaze toward the heavens, opening our throat, stretching that throat center. Breathe in. Breathe out. 1 more. Beautiful. Take your hands to frame that left foot, tuck the right foot, lift that knee, and see if you can step back to your downward facing dog, leaving your blanket right where it is. We will be using it. And let those hips rise up to the sky as you press your heels down to the floor. And take another round of breath here. And as you exhale, come slightly forward so your knees land wide on your mat, on your blanket, on your mat. And then let those big toes touch and sink your hips back to your heels, coming into extended child's pose. So let your arms reach forward, fingertips reaching, and then let the forehead just descend to the floor, resting on the floor. Again, long line in the back of the neck. Breathing in. And breathing out. So when I think of the throat chakra, I tend to think of the act of forgiveness and how healthy that is for us and how hard it is for us. It reminds me of that Hawaiian saying, I'm sorry, please forgive me. Thank you, I love you. I'm sorry, please forgive me. Thank you, I love you. That just kind of says it all. That just feels like a clearing of the throat chakra to me. And take another breath in and exhale it out. And then as you're ready, let's slowly rise up, coming all the way up, and just taking a seat on our blanket. Actually, let's tuck the blanket underneath us and come to sit on the blanket and extend our legs long, sitting up nice and tall. I'll come to this side. And then flex your feet. Engage your legs. Get really long. And reach your arms up and look up. Inhale. And as you exhale, we're going to come into a forward fold here. So you can reach for your ankles, your shins, or your feet. And if you happen to have really long arms and you'd like a little additional stretch and you have a block, you can place a block behind your feet. And once you get there, just let the back of the neck unwind, bringing the chin to the chest. And then just let the shoulders round forward. You can let your arms relax to the sides of your legs. And breathe here. Think of breathing into the back body from the tailbone all the way up to the crown of the head, filling up and letting go. Softening the neck, turning it from side to side, and then really surrendering into this pose. Beautiful, long, deep breath. Let's take one more together. And then take your fingertips to the floor and slowly come up. And leave that left foot where it is. Take that right foot and just cross it over. Hug it in nice and tight. And give yourself a squeeze, taking your twist over to the right shoulder. You can keep that left foot engaged by flexing the toes toward the ceiling. And just take a gentle twist of the neck, turning toward the right. Breathing in, feel the belly filling up, pressing into that right thigh, and take this twist from the outer left rib cage, twisting from the center. And the neck will be the last to get involved. And just notice, once you find that edge, notice what you can see out of your right side of your right eye. So it's a little stretch for the eyes here. Breathe in. And exhale, slowly unwind. Let the neck unwind just as slowly. And switch sides. Extend that right leg. Take that left leg across and give yourself a nice big hug here. Taking that left hand behind you. And take your chin parallel with the earth here again. Keeping that posture that gives us the best position to make the things that come out of our mouth be in alignment with our heart and our minds. Take another breath in. Lift up with your heart first. And let the neck be the last to turn. And then see what you can see out of your left side of your left eye. See if you can take your gaze over there. Stretch those eyes. They need love too. Take one more big breath in. Fill up. Good. And exhale. Unwinding slowly. Good job. And as you come back here, you might want to take a few neck circles. And just notice if there are less crunchies going on. And then we're going to take our towels, our blankets, and just give a little bit of a roll here. So maybe it's like 2 or 3 inches thick. And then lay it at the top of your mat. And come to place just the curve in the neck right on top of that so it feels really good. And if it's too big or too little, just adjust it. Make those adjustments that you need. And then snuggle your shoulders underneath you and place your hands on the floor at your sides and draw your feet up toward your hips, so knees are bent. We're going to take 3 bridge lifts. So as you're ready, inhale, lift your hips toward the sky. And exhale. We'll take 2 more breaths here. And keep your gaze upward. So you're not doing anything that might hurt your neck. And on your next exhalation, just slowly lower down. Let your hips rock from side to side. And we'll take our second bridge. Inhale, lift, and breathe. So you might think about lifting a little bit higher here, or you might decide you want to clasp your hands underneath you and lift up even more. And take one more breath in, and then relax all the way down to the mat. Good. Last one, 3rd time's a charm. Readjust as needed, and when you're ready, slowly press your way up, bridge pose. Snuggle your shoulders, clasp your hands, do all the things, and breathe. Full breath in. Breathing into that throat chakra. And exhale. And last breath in here together, breathing in. And slowly breathing out to lower down. Slowly, slowly, slowly. You got this. And then as you're ready, hug your right knee into your chest. Extend that left leg. And take the left hand and gently guide this right knee over to the right. Take your right arm, extend it out, opening that shoulder, and turn your gaze toward that extended arm. Breathing here in this twist. Noticing if there's resistance, and using the breath to let it go. Softening face and jaw. Throat and hips. One more breath in, and then slowly come back to center. Give that knee a little squeeze, bring your nose toward the knee, and then extend long. Reach your arms way overhead, get super long, and then draw that left knee into your chest. Give yourself a hug. And take the right hand, gently guide it over to the right. Open up with your left arm. Take your gaze over to the left side. And breathe. Closing your eyes, just noticing if you're holding on. See if you can surrender a little bit more. Allowing this twist to stretch you in ways you never could have imagined. That's a little dramatic. It doesn't really have to be that big of a deal. Just stretch. Enjoy. Feel it. On your next breath in, hug that knee back in as you roll back to center. Take your nose toward your knee, hug it in. And then slowly release, letting that left leg get long, reaching your arms overhead for another full stretch. Point your toes. Engage all the muscles in the body. So tighten up the legs, tighten up the belly. You can make fists with your hands, even make a face. And I'm going to encourage lion's a lion's face. So open your mouth nice and wide and stick out your tongue. And hold it. And we'll hold it. Maybe tighten up those abs a little bit more. Tighten up those legs. And then let it go. Take your arms out to your sides, opening up, palms facing up. And let the feet come as wide as your mat. And just soften here. And before we come into Shavasana, take a yawn. Like imagine you're yawning and just open your mouth really wide. And then just let that go. Let your eyes close. Let them be soft behind your eyelids. Relax the face and the jaw. Just melt into the floor as you rest in Shavasana. This is a morning offering from John O'Donohue's to bless the space between us. I bless the night that nourished my heart, to set the ghosts of longing free into the flow and figure of dream that went to harvest from the dark, bread for the hunger no one sees. All that is eternal in me welcomes the wonder of this day, the field of brightness it creates, offering time for each thing to arise and illuminate. I place on the altar of dawn the quiet loyalty of breath, the tent of thought where I shelter, waves of desire I am sure to, and all beauty drawn to the eye. May my mind come alive today to the invisible geography that invites me to new frontiers, to break the dead shell of yesterdays, to risk being disturbed and changed. May I have courage today to live the life that I would love, to postpone my dream no longer, but do at last what I came here for, and waste my heart on fear no more. As you're ready, slowly begin to deepen the breath. Wiggle fingers and toes. Maybe turn that head from side to side. See if there's hopefully a little more mobility there. And then if you'd like to, stay just where you are. And if you choose to, turn to one side, and we'll come up to a seat. And once you're there, just let your eyes close. And take notice of your posture here. Notice if the chin is wanting to jut forward, but maybe you've made a conscious effort to draw it back so it's parallel with the floor, aligned with the heart and the head. And then when you're ready, let's take a final breath together. Reaching the arms out wide, palms facing forward, open to whatever this day brings. Inhale, reach up. Take your nose toward the heavens and take the hands to prayer position and draw it down right through that plumb line from the top of the head through that third eye down through that throat chakra and right down to the heart. And let your chin come down to your chest, bowing to the heart, bowing to our minds, and to our throat chakras. May they choose words wisely. May we choose our words wisely and keep that heart and head and throat alignment. Thank you for practicing today. I hope you have a wonderful day and a beautiful week. Namaste. Keep your chins parallel.
Thank you, Connie.
Thank you.